Wait a second. Are we seriously saying XRP might outpace Bitcoin? While some are convinced XRP is crashing, others are doubling down, betting that XRP is never going back to cents. And now, with rumors swirling that the SEC lawsuit could drag out until 2026, is XRP secretly winning while the rest of the market's asleep? Or are we all being lied to? Let's unpack what's really happening. The CEO betting on XRP over Bitcoin. Sal Gilberty, CEO of Teucrium, just rocked the crypto scene by saying XRP could offer greater long-term upside than Bitcoin.
As the preferred trading vehicle over something like a 2x Bitcoin ETF, is it more volatile? Is there potential catalyst that could create outperformance for XRP relative to Bitcoin? What's the thesis for a trading vehicle tied to XRP?
Well, I think at times it's all true. I think the market is looking for trading vehicles. We're a derivative shop, and so it's our area of expertise. And anybody who's really interested in crypto and XRP, they know how to buy it. They just know how to buy it directly. And so our view was offer a product that isn't easily accessible, and that's a 2x levered product. And that's what we did. And so will it be more or less volatile than Bitcoin? Probably yes, probably no, depends on when you look at it. Will it have more upside than Bitcoin? A lot of people say yes. I think that the use case for XRP as it builds, that's the thing about it. It actually has a use case. It has a use. And so we don't make price predictions here, but I do think that in terms of the very long-term outlook and the tokenization of everything as that comes down, given that XRP is a useful token, I think that XRP has the potential for some very good upside. Now, again, it's a volatile fund. It's a 2x. There's a lot of risk, so people need to be careful when they trade it. But XRP is another interesting token, and we think it's very useful, and there's obviously an appeal to the investors.
In a recent interview, Gilberty said XRP shows strong demand, not just from retail, but from institutions hunting for next-gen financial infrastructure. While XRP is currently trading at $2.02, down 7.35% this week, he sees the bigger picture. His firm is rolling out a 2x leveraged XRP ETF, signaling strong conviction in Ripple's vision. Why not a 2x Bitcoin ETF? Gilberty says Bitcoin is already widely understood. XRP, on the other hand, is flying under the radar with utility that's still unfolding. He compares Bitcoin to digital gold, a store of value. But XRP is a transactional backbone, a rail system for the tokenized future. Ripple isn't playing around. Gilberty calls Ripple highly professional and focused. And that's not a throwaway comment. Behind the scenes, Ripple's been laying down real financial infrastructure across Asia, the Middle East, and Latin America. XRP isn't about hype, it's about pipes, payment corridors, real-time remittances, stablecoin rails. So if you're looking for moonshots, XRP might not scream excitement. But if you're betting on the plumbing of tomorrow's financial system, Gilberty says XRP could outperform Bitcoin in the long haul. But wait, SEC delay until 2026? Hold on. There's talk online that the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit might drag into late 2026. That would be a massive blow to investor confidence, right? Wrong. According to legal expert Bill Morgan. Morgan says this 2026 delay talk is pure speculation. He flat out calls it not on the cards unless something drastically changes. Like Judge Torres denying Ripple and the SEC's joint motion to reduce Ripple's penalty from $125 million to $50 million. That's possible, but unlikely, especially since both parties have already refiled the motion after fixing earlier issues. Right now, the SEC and Ripple are literally asking the Second Circuit Court to pause their appeals until August 2025 so they can work out a settlement. So no, 2026 is not the roadmap. A resolution could come much sooner. XRP's price drop, not because it's failing. Over the weekend, XRP briefly dipped below $2, sparking panic in the community. But Versan Aljara of Black Swan Capitalist says, relax, this isn't about fundamentals. It's just market-wide fear. With the US bombing Iranian nuclear sites, tensions in the Middle East are flaring, oil prices are rising, risk assets are falling, even Bitcoin briefly dropped below 100K. So XRP didn't collapse in isolation, it was caught in macro panic. Aljara says the real utility of XRP hasn't changed one bit, and that's what will matter once markets calm. So where's XRP going next? Analyst Igrag is still incredibly bullish. He sees possible moves to 6.70 cents, $13, even $27 if XRP repeats its previous breakout pattern. That's not hopium, that's history. XRP has exploded before when the pieces aligned, and the chart looks eerily similar now. But again, it's all about utility, and in that department, XRP's growth engine is running hot. Is XRP ever going back to cents? Pundits say no. Xena, a well-known XRP community voice, just came out strong. XRP is not going back to the cents level. Even after falling below $2 during the market scare, XRP quickly recovered to $2.03. And here's the key. It hasn't touched the $1 mark since November 2024. That's a strong line of psychological support. Analyst Bearable Bull said it first. XRP will never go back below $1. And so far, that prediction's holding. Some skeptics think otherwise. Chart watchers point to possible head and shoulders patterns, warning of dips to $1 or $1.60, but none of those have played out. Even if they did, Black Swan Capitalist says he'd just buy more, because XRP isn't about short-term moves, it's about long-term positioning. Bitcoin or XRP? Which one's the better investment now? Let's break it down. Eduardo Farina says the numbers speak for themselves. XRP is trading at 210 cents, Bitcoin 106K. Back in late 2024, XRP was 50 and Bitcoin was 70Ks. XRP then exploded to $3.40, a 7x return. Bitcoin only climbed about 64%. 50,000 in XRP became 340,000. 50,000 Bitcoin, just $82,000. So if you want multiples, XRP has historically delivered more. Farina even says if Bitcoin hits 500,000, XRP could reach $100. That's a 5x for BTC and a 40x for XRP. Why average investors prefer XRP? Let's be real, most people don't have 50K to throw into Bitcoin. But with XRP, that same capital can go much further. $10,000 can buy 5,000 XRP. If XRP hits $10, that's $50,000. If it hits 100, that's $500,000. Asymmetric upside, that's the play. Farina emphasizes this isn't anti-Bitcoin. It's about recognizing opportunity where it still exists. The critics fire back. Of course, not everyone's convinced. Skeptics argue XRP still hasn't reclaimed its all-time high from 2018, while Bitcoin has crushed multiple new highs since then. And that's fair criticism. But supporters say XRP has been uniquely suppressed by lawsuits, regulatory pressure, and speculative disinterest. Now that those clouds are clearing, the price is finally catching up with the tech. The rails are in place. The lawsuits are winding down, and institutions are sniffing around. The stage is set. Final thoughts. What XRP holders need to know. This moment is messy, but it's not meaningless. Yes, volatility is shaking people out. But for those who zoom out, it's also creating rare accumulation windows. If XRP holds $2, that's a foundation. If it dips back toward $1.70, that's a potential launch pad. In either case, the real question isn't price. It's, are you investing in hype or in infrastructure? Because XRP and Ripple aren't building memes, they're building rails. Compliance-first liquidity corridors, real-time remittance systems, cross-border finance. And that's why some experts say you'd have to be insane to think Bitcoin is a better investment at this point. Could XRP crash again? Sure. But could it also lead the next financial reset? That's what institutional money is starting to bet on. So don't just watch the price, watch the rails. Because the money's already moving, and XRP might be riding it straight past Bitcoin.